Hello, welcome to the Television Affair. My name is Johnny and I like to dance in the glitter made from old videotapes where I can see shards of TV idents and adverts fall all over my house. However, my cats end up licking it up and I take them to the vets to make sure they're going to be okay, and the vet says everything's going to be fine and it'll come out the other end. But somehow, while cleaning their litter trays, I discovered their bowels re-edited it all, and I think it's great, but some would call it a literal shit show. Anyway, this time round we're going to be looking at some kids channels and also an anime channel. This edition features some channels from CSC Media, and I'll be doing a proper video about them in the future, but this episode is just going to focus on 3 of their defunct channels. But first, an icon. CNX was a spin-off channel from Cartoon Network showing anime and manga programs, but it was supposed to be a bit more grown-up than Cartoon Network. It initially hoped to cater for a teen audience in the day and then at night time for an adult audience. It was the UK home of anime when it launched in September 2002, and it immediately gained a cult following. The shows it played had been on other channels in the past, but anime in this country hadn't really had its own podium on any of the main street channels for a consistent period. I mean, it was included on special Japanese nights or something, and also that time when on TVAM they had Japanese Day and Diamond, or Anime Diamond, on that day, along with Mike Morris, and the rest of the team came dressed as manga characters. I can't seem to find any footage of that because I made that up and it was a whole big lie. Would have been great though. Anyway, back to CNX, and yeah, anime programming had just mainly been on those special things on TV, and the only way you could really get it is if you went to a music shop, or maybe cash converters, they might have had some, but yeah, music shops like HMV. That was the biggest one around 2002, other than Virgin Megastores. But yeah, I never got into the genre, but I used to regularly go and have a look at the DVDs and tapes they had in, and also on the 3rd floor in HMV in Swindon. This was when vinyl was at its low. I was actually learning how to mix on vinyl, so I used to spend a lot of my spare time just going up there and having a look at the records. Cartoon Network had been airing some in the UK though, and they saw some success and started CNX. Well, that was until a year later when the channel rebranded. Apparently the reason for the rebrand was due to the adult market being too crowded and competitive, according to a spokesperson from Turner Broadcasting, which was Cartoon Network's parent company. I get it though, because we're talking 2003 here, and if you cast your minds back, adult animation was going through a sort of a popular time. South Park, for instance, was at the top of its game, and Family Guy was also a thing. Bravo had recently rebranded for a younger audience, and MTV was airing adult comedy programming aimed at a similar audience with Jackass. So it's sort of Cartoon Network's way of saying our audience is elsewhere. If we were going to look at that in like a thesaurus way, another way of saying it is there are not enough people watching. Boiling down to realism is our old friend due to viewing figures. At this stage, also, CNX was further up the EPG, and it was classed as an entertainment channel rather than a kids channel. Having it in the kids section would have probably angered a lot of anime people, being like, this is not for kids. Anyway, after a year, it moved to the kids section of the EPG, and it was rebranded as Toonami.
Warning. Warning. Warning to all Sky and Telewest broadband viewers. On the 8th of September, Toonami will be moving channels. On Sky to the kids section, and on Telewest broadband to channel 732. Remember to mark it as a favourite and don't miss any of the action.
Toonami had been a strand on CNX for quite a while, and it was the slot that they had dedicated to their younger audience, so when the channel relaunched as Toonami, that was their audience. And I can think of a few reasons why they would see that as a better option in regards to an audience, because firstly, teens are confusing, but they're also independent from adults, and they aren't really well known for their financial independence. So on an advertising level, where do you go? And also, what brands do the station want to be affiliated with? The relaunch as Toonami in 2004 didn't go down too well with the older CNX audience. Channel purists were especially pissed off in 2006 when Toonami added some live action shows. This is one of those spiritual signs that says things were coming to an end and it would survive until 2007, and that's when it merged with Cartoon Network 2, spelt T-O-O, and they say it's the parents' fault that the kids can't spell. 222. Fucking hell.
What do you get when you take all the best stuff from Toonami and mix it in with the best stuff from Cartoon Network? You get the all-new, bigger and better Cartoon Network 2. All your Toonami favorites in the same place, but with some cool new neighbors and a shiny new name.
Hey now, don't look at this. This isn't for children to see.
Remember, my mom's watching.
You don't even need to change the channel. Toonami is now the bigger, better Cartoon Network 2.
May 2007 was the last time we saw Toonami. 4 months later, this happened. Firstly, I want to say I really like this ident and especially the music. No other channel around this time had chiptune and a circuit bent sounding speak and spell. I know a bit about this because I had to produce a pretend show for my coursework where I pretended I was a BBC Radio 6 music presenter, and my show was all about chiptune. So if you want to have a listen to that, the link is in the description. But anyway, CSC Media saw a gap in the market after Toonami left, and it looked like they knew exactly what they were doing. This was also before Crunchyroll found its feet. The teens who grew up with CNX and Toonami over the last 5-ish years were coming into their adulthood, and what was going to be named Toon TV was swiftly rebranded to Anime Central. The shows on the channel included Bleach, Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, Gundam Seed, and Transformers Headmasters. Sorry if I got any of that wrong, I've no idea about anime, but I've made some educated guesses. The channel would be on from 9 PM until 6 AM, and for a bit it shared a channel with Pop Girl. Unfortunately though, the channel would closed after 11 months being replaced by Showcase TV, and that would eventually become True Entertainment. Next up, it's CSC's answer to Jetix and Cartoon Network 2, it's Kicks. Kicks launched in May 2008 and its sister stations were Pop, Tiny Pop and literal sister Pop Girl. Basically, Kicks was Pop Boy, but it had a cooler name, which I think is unfair to the girls, to be honest with you, but there you go. It had programs aimed at boys aged between 7 and 12 years old, and Pop and Tiny Pop are still alive and active. And in fact, Kicks sort of still exists as Pop Max, but many see Kicks as a different station, even though actually all that changed was the name. So that's why I've included it, and it's more of a defunct brand than a defunct channel. It dropped the in its name in 2014. Kicks would become Pop Max in 2017, and as I mentioned before, the programming didn't really change that much, it was just mainly the brand. I kind of feel like though that Kicks' identity was a lot better than Pop Max, and unlike other kids' TV channels in the UK around that time, such as Nickelodeon, Disney, Cartoon Network, Jetix/Disney XD, CBBC and CITV, it didn't have exclusive shows to the channel. It either aired shows that were on other channels previously, or older series that are currently going out at the moment, but the bonus is that they introduced new shows from other countries. Some of the programming you could have got on Kicks included the 100 Deeds of Eddie McDowd, Batman Beyond, Beyblade Metal Masters, Biker Mice from Mars from 2006, Dragon Ball, Pinky and the Brain, Rabbids Invasion, Shizao, Transformers Rescue Bots, and Power Rangers. Lots and lots of Power Rangers. In fact, there was an on-off channel called Kix Power that only played Power Rangers at one point. On the other side, you had Pop Girl.
You're watching Pop Girl. Pop Girl.
Wow, that was a change in energy, wasn't it? Pop Girl followed the same format as Kix, but for girls aged 6 to 10, according to its show reel. But that's a slightly different age range to the boys, which is 7 to 12. So it'd be interesting to know why, but I'm not going to start searching for that now. Maybe girls over 10 might find Pop Girl a bit babyish. I don't know. But it had some pretty good shows on it as well, and it started in August 2007. But if you think about the energy that Kix had when it started, and then this channel kind of feels a bit like an afterthought. Like they really wanted Kix, but they didn't want to be seen as just making one for boys and be a bit more diverse and make a channel for girls as well. But yeah, it just kind of feels a little bit like an afterthought, really. Some of the shows included Angela Anaconda, Bindi the Jungle Girl, Even Stevens, H2O Just Add Water, Saved by the Bell, yeah, that one, Totally Spies, Trolls, and Pippi Longstocking. That is actually a song that I sing when I wake up in the morning. As you saw with that weird montage, and also like Kix, many of the shows were aired from other channels such as Disney, Nickelodeon and Fox Kids previously, and some had also carried on airing on the main channel Pop. I think by 2013, Pop Girl was looking a bit lackluster compared to Kix, so they had a bit of a refresh. Pop Girl closed at 6 a.m. on the 1st of October 2015, and it didn't get a replacement, and there doesn't seem to be a reason why. But in August 2014, Sony Pictures purchased CSC Media, so I'd imagine it would be a cost-cutting / audience figure situation that happened with it. Righty then, that's it for today, well, for this bit anyway. It's not been a very big episode today because I want to get another one out before Halloween. I've been through some of the channel suggestions that you've all come up with over the last weeks and months, and there are a few channels that I'm finding it really difficult to find footage of. One of those is P-Rock. I really want to do something on P-Rock, but I cannot find any proper footage anywhere. So if anyone can direct me towards that, some sort of idents or even some sort of videos or adverts of some sort of the actual channel, please let me know. I'd rather not have a segment just filled full of screenshots of their old website. The advantage of having a small episode though gives me some time for a small announcement, because you can expect a few more videos from me from next week, because I'm going YouTube full time. To cut a number of long stories short, I'm a little bit limited on the work that I can do at the moment, and YouTube seems to be working really well for me at the moment, and I need to be generating some sort of regular income because my house is for sale and I don't own it. So yeah, I'm one of those scummy renters, but my house will probably become an overpriced Airbnb at the beginning of next year, so I need to figure something out. So yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, in the next episode, it's going to be a spooky one. I asked you what telly thing used to freak you out, like idents, adverts, and maybe even public information films in that still haunt you to this day. If you've got any suggestions, leave a comment, or you can get in touch via my Facebook page. Completely forgot that I've even got one of these. Go to facebook.com/JohnCosonic. You can join the page and everything, and leave messages and stuff on there. Thanks to the team members Joseph Adams, Stephen Bride, Manu2013 and Chris Elliott. You can join in too by becoming a member. Press join via YouTube or Patreon. All the links are in the description. The executive producer is Computer Tom. I've been Johnny Robinson, and I'll still be Johnny Robinson after this video is finished. Thank you, bye.